So I welcome you all for the Strength of Materials lecture series, lecture number 10 with the code 18CV32. Okay. So let's quickly study the topics which we have covered in the previous session. So in previous session, we have studied about temperature stresses, okay, in a single bar as well as in the compound bars. And we have also gone through numerical examples to calculate temperature stress in a single bar as well as the compound bar by using two equations, right? Compatibility equations. We have solved temperature stress problems. And we have also seen the four elastic constants. Okay, so these are the things which we have discussed in the previous session. So in today's session, let's see the topic level objectives. So today's topic level objectives are elastic constants. So I'll continue the same concept which we have left in the last session. So there are actually four elastic constants, and today the main thing is we shall also study the relationship between all the four elastic constants, right? So whatever we have discussed in previous session, E, G, K and mu, right? Young's modulus, modulus of rigidity, bulk modulus and Poisson's ratio. So whatever the four elastic constants which we have discussed, today we shall see the relationship between all those four elastic constants. Now relationship between all the elastic constant in the sense, uh, I need to derive an equation for all the elastic constant so that all the four elastic constants are actually interrelated. Okay. So suppose if in any one of the numerical example, if mu is given to you, Poisson's ratio, and G is given to you, so you should know how to calculate E, that is Young's modulus. Okay, so that can be used in the numerical example. So today we shall study the relationship, that is the equation that relates all the four elastic constants. So let me repeat the things. There are four elastic constants. Okay. Uh, Isotropic in an isotropic material. The word isotropic in the sense, I had in the very first class of my strength of materials, I had explained about isotropic material. So isotropic in the sense, a material in which the elastic constants remain same in all the four directions. So such a material is called as an isotropic material. So if you remember, I had given you an anisotropic material example, that is wood, timber, right? So wherein the in when you test a timber specimen for compression on different sides, okay, so every side will give you some different compressive stress. That's because the grains, right? If the grains, it depends on the how the grains are actually located, how the grains are distributed. If you are applying the load perpendicular to the grains, then the compressive strength is less. If you are applying the load parallel to the grains, then it takes large amount of compressive force. Okay, or large amount of compressive strength. So that's why we call timber as an anisotropic material. Okay, so now you should understand. Now I hope it is clear to you what is an isotropic material. Okay, now so there are four elastic constants: elastic modulus E, Poisson's ratio mu, shear modulus G, and bulk modulus K. Of course, in if you refer some different textbooks, every textbook will give you some other notations, but I'll be using these notations. Young's modulus as E, Poisson's ratio, I'll take it as mu. Of course, Poisson's ratio, it can be taken as mu or also 1 divided by m. Okay, so that's also Poisson's ratio, 1 divided by m. Okay, next shear modulus G and bulk modulus K. Okay. Now let's define all the four elastic constant and then we'll go for the derivations or the relationships. Okay, so let's revise this. So hope you remember Young's modulus or modulus of elasticity. It is defined as stress ratio of stress to the strain within elastic limit. So stress may be either tensile or compressive. So the ratio of stress to the strain within elastic limit. So this is denoted as E, and it is also called as modulus of elasticity or elastic modulus. Can anyone tell me what is the unit of this? Stress divided by strain. Can anyone tell me what is the unit of this? Yes? Can anyone tell me what is the unit of this capital E?
Newton per mm.
Right, very correct. So Newton per mm square or megapascal, correct? So next, modulus of rigidity. So either it is taken as C, capital C, or capital G, or capital N. Now what is this modulus of rigidity? C, G, or N? Okay. It is defined as the ratio of shear stress to shear strain within elastic limit. Okay. So if it's purely of shear, then it is taken as modulus of rigidity. That is the ratio of shear stress to the shear strain within elastic limit. Okay. So see the word shear stress by shear strain. Now can anyone tell me again what's the unit of modulus of rigidity now? Depending on the definition, ratio of shear stress to the shear strain. Can anyone tell me the unit?
Newton
Newton per
mm square.
mm square. Very correct. So strain has no unit. So once again, it is the shear stress that's the unit that carries for the modulus of rigidity. So once again, it is defined as Newton per mm square. Okay. So it is taken as either C, G, or N. So many textbook will follow their own notations. You can follow any one, either C, G, or N. Okay. So we usually prefer G. Okay. Next, bulk modulus. See the let's see the definition of bulk modulus K. This is also a type of elastic constant, and this is called as the ratio of direct stress to the corresponding volumetric strain. See, direct stress. Suppose if you have a block, imagine a three-dimensional block or a two-dimensional block. Let me apply a direct stress sigma in all the direction, x direction, y direction, and z direction. Okay. So direct stress. So that direct stress divided by volumetric strain. Okay. See what is volumetric strain? Strain is nothing but change in length divided by original length. This is called as strain, right? Now when I speak volumetric strain, it is change in volume divided by original volume, which is taken as usually EV. Okay, see basically epsilon or E is taken as strain. When I specifically call volumetric strain, then I will usually take it as EV or epsilon V. Okay, epsilon V is taken as volumetric strain. What is volumetric strain? It is C. Strain, you know the definition of strain. Now it is simply volumetric strain. So change in volume divided by original volume. That is volumetric strain. So usually we denote it as EV is equal to or epsilon V is equal to, see volume in the sense in all the three direction there should be change in dimension, correct? Then the volume changes. So that's why can I write volumetric strain epsilon V is equal to change in volume in x direction plus change in strain in y direction plus change in strain in z direction. So total change in dimension of all in x, y and z direction is taken as volumetric strain epsilon V. So epsilon V I can write it as Ex plus Ey plus Ez. Is that understood to everyone? Volumetric strain EV is change in volume divided by original volume, right? Okay, so I was discussing about bulk modulus. So it is the ratio of direct stress to the corresponding volumetric strain within elastic limit. So once again, it is denoted as capital K. So now looking at this definition, can anyone once again tell me what's the unit of bulk modulus? Think on the definition and tell me what should be the unit of K. It is the ratio of direct stress divided by volumetric strain. What's the unit now?
Newton per mm square.
Exactly, very correct. So Newton per mm square or megapascal. So this unit remains same for Young's modulus, rigidity modulus as well as bulk modulus. Okay, so for all the three, the unit remains same, that is Newton per mm square or megapascal. Okay, so The last elastic constant is Poisson's ratio, which you have already studied. But let me uh, repeat it once again. So we know the definition. Poisson's ratio is, it is the ratio of lateral strain by linear strain. Correct? So Poisson's ratio, it is taken as ratio of lateral strain by linear strain, or you can also call it as transverse contraction strain to the longitudinal extension. That is linear strain, one and the same. Okay, so you can see the formula, transverse strain by longitudinal strain. Now Poisson's ratio, this is taken as mu, or also 1 divided by m. Okay, so let's study the difference now. Young's modulus, bulk modulus K, sorry, Young's modulus E, modulus of rigidity or shear modulus, it is taken as C, G or N. Bulk modulus is taken as K. So you can see the definitions which we have discussed here. Ratio of tensile strain by compressive strain, tensile strain to the corresponding uh, tensile stress to the corresponding strain within elastic limit. Modulus of rigidity is shear stress by shear strain. Bulk modulus is direct stress divided by volumetric strain. And for all the three cases, the unit is Newton per mm square. Okay, now we shall study the relationship between E, G and K. Have you understood all the four elastic constants? Shall I go for the relationships now? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's study the equation which relates E and G. What is E? Young's modulus. What is G? Shear modulus or modulus of rigidity. One and the same. Shear modulus or modulus of rigidity. Now for this particular relationship, consider a solid cube. As you can see here, consider a solid cube PQRS. So PQRS is a solid cube. Now this, it's subjected to shear stress tau. Okay, so tau is usually taken as shear stress. So this is subjected to shear stress as shown in the figure in PQ and RS. Now as a result of this, see, when you are applying shear at one direction, obviously the other direction a complementary shear generates automatically. So complementary shear PS and PQ, this is also taken as tau. So now as such, PQRS, it is subjected to shear stress tau. Now when a block is subjected to shear stress tau, obviously it slides, right? It undergoes sliding. Now you can see in the dotted lines, the sliding occurred in the solid block. So you can see the dotted lines P, S dash, R dash and Q. I'll repeat P, S dash, R dash and Q. Now this block has been slided to these dotted lines. Okay, and you can also see the diagonals here, QS and TR, and you can see the diagonal of slided block also. Dotted line has been shown to you, that is PR dash. PR dash is the diagonal of the slided block. Okay, now, so we have taken this block now. Now the direction of the cube is represented by the dotted lines. Okay, now the diagonal PR is distorted to PR dash. So initially the diagonal was PR. You can see in the solid line. Okay, now this diagonal PR has been changed to PR dash. Why did it change? Because of the shear stress, the block has slided. Okay, now for this what I'll do, I'll drop a perpendicular RT. Observe the figure carefully. I have dropped a perpendicular RT on PR dash. I have dropped a perpendicular RT on PR dash such that R dash T is 45 degree. Is that understood to everyone? Observe the figure carefully. Observe the diagonal now. Okay. Now with this, I hope this diagram is understood to you all. Now let's see the equations. Relationship between E and G. First of all, I'll write modulus of rigidity G is equal to, we know what is G now, shear stress by shear strain. Now in this, I'll take this shear strain outside. Shear strain is equal to shear stress by capital G. Okay. Now from the figure, shear strain phi is equal to, okay, see now, I need a definition for shear strain. From the diagram, shear strain phi is equal to. So what is phi is equal to? PR dash divided by QR. PR dash divided by QR. PR dash divided by QR. Observe the figure carefully. Where is your phi? This is your phi. Okay, now from this I'll write PR dash divided by QR. Okay, that is nothing but phi. So that's what I've written here. Since shear stress, you see, we usually take shear stress as nothing but tau. Okay, so now I can write from the figure R dash divided by QR is equal to tau divided by G. Okay, so let's call this equation as 1. Refer the figure carefully. Now this is also been sent in your WhatsApp notes also. Okay, you can note down the derivation. Okay, now as I said, you are supposed to drop perpendicular R, okay, onto the diagonal PR dash. Okay, now from this, strain experienced by the diagonal is taken as TR dash divided by PR. So you can see here, once the dotted line is taken, so the strain experience, strain in the sense now change in length divided by original length. Okay, so change in length in the diagonal is taken as TR dash. So TR has been extended now. TR dash divided by what is the original length? PR. So it is nothing but TR dash divided by PR. Okay. Now I can say, considering that PT is nothing but PR. Observe the figure once again. I'll show you. PT is nothing but, you can see here, PT is nothing but PR. So when you're dropping this perpendicular, now these two lines are parallel, PT and PR. So now I can say that both are equal, PT and PR. Okay, so that's what I have written here. PT is equal to PR. Substitute here. Okay, now I can write TR dash is nothing but RR dash cos 45. Okay, I'll show you here. TR dash is nothing but TR dash is nothing but RR dash cos 45. Now, how did I write this? See, what you are supposed to do is take the triangle, right angled triangle RTR dash. Okay, you can note it down separately. Consider a right angle triangle RTR dash. Okay, consider a right angle triangle RTR dash, wherein RR dash T is taken as 45 degree. Okay, so now let me show this once again. Now I need to write an equation for TR dash. TR dash, observe here, TR dash is equal to RR dash cos 45. Where is your TR dash? This is your adjacent. Adjacent is nothing but TR dash. So this adjacent, I can write it in terms of hypotenuse and the cos 45. That is RR dash cos 45. Because we know what is cos 45, adjacent divided by hypotenuse, that is TR divided by RR dash. So you can write that, consider the triangle, write down cos 45, then you can substitute. So that's what I have written here. Similarly, PR. So PR I can write it as QR by cos 45. So consider the same triangle and you can write it. Okay. Now from this I can write RR dash divided by 2QR. Okay, because cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So RR dash divided by 2QR. So root 2, I'll take it as Q2. Root 2 into root 2 is nothing but 2. So RR dash divided by 2QR. Now finally, strain in the diagonal PR, I'll write it as RR dash divided by 2QR. RR dash is nothing but tau, that is shear stress, divided by QR is nothing but, it is taken as G. Okay, you can see in the equation 1, QR is nothing but G. So that is why I have taken it as 2G. Okay, now I hope this equation 1 and 2 is clear to you. Now, see, basically I have taken F as direct stress. You can take it as sigma also. Okay, so because in previous slides we have taken sigma as direct stress, you can take F as or sigma, one and the same. So if direct stress is taken as F and stress induced in the diagonal PR due to shear stress is tau, then strain in the diagonal is taken as tau divided by 2G or F divided by, which is equal to F divided by 2G. So call this equation as 3. Now the diagonal PR is actually subjected to direct tensile stress with the diagonal RS is subjected to direct compressive stress. Now the total strain on the diagonal is taken as sigma divided by E or F divided by E, one and the same, plus mu into F divided by E, because I have told you, see, suppose if you have direct stress, in previous slides we have discussed, when a single block is given to you, okay, and if you know how to calculate direct strain, you should also know how to calculate strain, because longitudinal strain is nothing but mu into lateral strain. So instead of writing mu, I have taken it as 1 divided by E, or you can take it in terms of F and 1 by M, one and the same. So now finally, by equating these two, I can write an equation. E is equal to, just see the last equation, E is equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. So instead of mu, I am taking it as 1 by M. E is equal to 1 plus mu. 2G into 1 plus mu. So this is the first equation. So next, relationship between Young's modulus and bulk modulus K. Okay. Now Young's modulus and bulk modulus K. See, basically we know what is an volumetric strain. Okay. So volumetric strain is nothing but strain in X, Y and Z direction. Okay. So strain is nothing but stress divided by Young's modulus. So I can write EV is equal to, see, instead of writing sigma X, sigma Y, sigma Z, I have written it as Fx, Fy, Fz. If you feel to take sigma, you can always take. Strain is basically stress by strain. Strain is basically stress divided by Young's modulus. So Fx, Fy, Fz divided by E, okay, and is nothing but 1 minus 2 divided by M. Now how did I write 1 minus 2 divided by M is, I have told you lateral strain is mu times into linear strain. So instead of writing mu, I am taking it as 1 divided by M. So if you split that, you will get this equation. Okay. Now, since in all the three direction, direct stress is same. So Fx, Fy, Fz, I'll take it as F. So EV is taken as 3F divided by E into 1 minus 2 divided by M. Okay. Now, call this equation as phi. And we also know that bulk modulus, what is the definition of bulk modulus? Direct stress divided by volumetric strain. So volumetric strain, I'll take it outside EV. So direct stress, sigma or F, whichever you feel you can take, divided by K. So just substitute in this upper equation and operate this mathematically. You will get an equation E is equal to 3K into 1 minus 2 mu. So either you can write 1 minus 2 mu or 2 divided by M, because 1 by M is nothing but mu. So this is the second equation. Okay. Next, relationship between E, G and K. So now we have solved a relationship between E and G, and we have solved relationship between E and K. So now the last relationship is between all the three equations: Young's modulus, shear modulus and bulk modulus. So let me write all those three equations here. See, we know the equation 1, 2 now between E and G and E and K. So in both the equations, 1 by M was common. So first equation I have taken 1 by M outside. So what you got is E minus 2G divided by 2G. Similarly, in equation B, which relates E and K in the previous slide, I have taken 1 by M outside. So I'll get 3K minus E divided by 6K. So since both the equations LHS is same, I can equate this. Okay. So E minus 2G by 2G is equal to 3K minus E divided by 6K. Okay. Now simplify this. When you simplify, you will get a final equation, that is capital E is equal to 9 kg divided by 3K plus G. So observe this equation carefully now. E is equal to 9 kg divided by 3K plus G. Now this equation, observe carefully, this relates between E, G and K. So this equation is used for relating all the three elastic constants: Young's modulus E, bulk modulus K and rigidity modulus G. Okay. So this completes all the three equations now. Okay. So now let me show you the three equations once again. Okay. See, these derivations you need to practice, and you should remember all these three equations. Now I'll tell you later why these three equations are important to you all. Let me read these equations once again. So we have derived the first equation between E, G and mu. Okay, that is Poisson's ratio. That is capital E is equal to 2G plus 2G into 1 plus mu. So instead of mu, in previously I had taken 1 divided by m, one and the same. So E is equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. Add this in your formula list. Similarly, we have derived the second equation, that is between E, K and mu, and we got an equation that is E is equal to 3K into 1 minus 2 mu. So in terms of m, it is taken as 3K into 1 minus 2 divided by m. That's also correct. Okay. Now the last equation we have derived, that is relationship between E, G and K, which is taken as capital E is equal to 9 kg divided by 3K plus G. Okay. So I hope all these three equations are understood to you all. The notes has been sent to you all. Go through that. If you get any doubt in mathematical operations, you can always contact. Okay. Now, why these three equations are important? Because see, in previous, till now we have solved numerical examples on how to calculate stress, strain, deformation, and about temperature stresses and so on. And in every problem, Young's modulus was given to you, correct? Agree for this? In every problem,
Yes, ma'am.
Young's modulus was given to you. Okay. Now suppose, you can consider the previous problem itself. Suppose in one particular problem, I'll not give you Young's modulus. I'll give you only Poisson's ratio and shear modulus G. I'll give you Poisson's ratio and shear modulus G. What will you do? Will you solve that problem by calculating E? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, I'll not give you Young's modulus in any problem now. I'll give you capital G and capital G and mu. So what will you do? Your first thing is, use the first equation, that is E is equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. Calculate E, that is Young's modulus. That Young's modulus, you can carry out it further for all your problems. Now similarly, instead of giving you E, I'll give you K and mu. Will you be able to calculate Young's modulus?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, you can calculate because you have the relationship between E, K and mu. So that's why I said using all the three equations, you can calculate any of the unknowns. Either you can calculate Young's modulus, bulk modulus, or rigidity modulus, or in fact mu, that is Poisson's ratio. Sometimes he'll also ask you Poisson's ratio also. He'll give you E and capital G. He may ask you to calculate what is the Poisson's ratio. Correct? So then you're supposed to remember all these three equations, use it mathematically, and you'll be able to calculate the unknown quantities. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these equations,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can use it in your previous problem. Okay. You can check the assignment questions related to this and use those equations in the previous numerical examples. Okay. So anything else to be discussed? Do you have any other doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. See, whatever the assignments and whatever the notes I had sent you all, have you started solving those?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any doubt in that assignment or in my any of the notes? We can discuss that in this platform. Yes?
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am,
please.
how to calculate this modulus of sorry, ma'am, modulus, ma'am. Elongation due to its self weight using specific weight, ma'am.